Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor.
Testing, test. Going once. Going twice. Going. Test. You hear me? We're not buffering. Look, it's a little sloppy starting the shows with this weird issue that we can't quite understand. But the advent of the most amazing studio ever is coming, folks. Don't worry about that. Okay. I think we're going. I think it's time to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. We're going to get rolling here. I got a nice show here. Pablo Escobar news, Inigo Montoya news. We're live on this very fine Tuesday. What's up, everybody? I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Freddie Mercury news. Guy Fawkes. I've been seeing a bunch of. I've been watching what everybody's been saying. Which one's the funniest? Some of them are not funny. We're talking about me right now. Guy Fawkes, Pablo Escobar. I think a little bit more now, with a little slick back, swarthy style. Don't sing for me. Don't cry for me, Argentina. I'm trying to find the man, but I look like many. Mexican Johnny Depp. I'm having fun. Nacho Libre, that's a good one. Jack Black. Now, yesterday, that was Nacho Libre. Afroed out. I really got to get the hydration station in the hair and the curls, and then I'll really look like Jack Black. Frank Zappa. What's up, everybody? Hello, Rumble. Hello, everybody. Zorro, I like it. Inigo Montoya. Guy Fieri. Okay, that's not funny, Steve. I was having fun, but that's not. It's like when Joel called it hipster. Not funny, man. Now I'm not laughing. Now I'm going to go shave. Letting others control me? Beta. Princess Bride. Okay, I know you're saying Princess Bride, but not quite. He has a little thin. Edgar Allan Poe. Okay. What's up, everybody? Yes. I see you, Rumble. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Gorgonzola on D-Live. And the lines are open. 888-775-3773. Got a couple things I want to talk about today here. But first, Conquistador? Yeah, Conquistadors. I like that one too. Now we're back. We're loving it. I'm hating it. I'm loving it. I'm hating it. No, it's for jokes. It's for fun. But others control me this much? You know, it's funny. I was like, I even kind of saw Joel when he said hipster, and I said, no. He's like, oh, no. Now I've said too much. I kind of saw that in him. Hey, I don't blame him, though. I don't blame him. Don't want to piss off Nick. What I'm trying to say is I'm an arse. I'm an actual. I was laughing about this the other day. It's very freeing. Because I thought I was a nice guy. I thought I was like a nice guy. This is what I was trying to say on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, basically, the other day. Yesterday, I think. It's all like nice. I'm an arse. And everyone's always showed me love, so it's great. Laughing about stuff here. Gampo, this is one I liked. Gampo. You know what Gampo is? Now, this is what I'm trying to go for. Gampo. I just learned this. I like this. Gampo. It's like white trash, mixture between street rat, here it is, and white trash. See, the thing is, once this grows out here, this is what I'm trying to go for. Once this grows out here, and then this stays a little thicker. I get that street mixture between street rat and white trash Gampo. We're back, baby. You know, someone said Juan Perón. Someone said Austrian painter. I was looking at the comments about yesterday's show. If you didn't catch it, you can podcast my show. You can listen to it after the fact on AmericanAnchorBaby.substack.com and on Spotify. Someone said Austrian painter. Uh-oh. Not quite. Come on, guys. Someone said 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. Someone said, oh, I think Nick is a 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. I'm like, what the heck is 𒔔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔? Obviously, oh, you got me. You got me. 𒔔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. Very funny. Very funny. Austrian painter. 𒔔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. I gotcha. Now, I'm sure that person commenting was playing around. I don't know what he meant. I'm sure he was just joking, though. About I don't even know I never even heard that euphemism, but I hear all the jokes, right? I hear the euphemisms. I hear the uncle stuff, Uncle 88. I know the jokes. I know the coded language, some of it. It's just, I guess, part of being in the right wing, maybe in the underground right wing or something. I don't know. Jack Black, art school. You know, I hear the jokes, but I'm not moonlighting as some like Nazi, what do they call it, Wignac guy? That might be a mean thing to say. I don't know. I'm just not, though. I'm not. I don't even know about all that stuff. Like, he's an uncle. Right on, 88. Let's go. I'm talking about those people during World War II. I'm being even more careful with my language today, more than usual. I'll tell you why in a moment here. Like, I hear about it. And the young people, you know what I like? I like it the young people don't care about the whole PC thing. The whole language police thing is not really working. They're going hard the other way. They don't care about saying the N-word, you know, especially if they have a little anonymity. They know about the consequences and, you know, the consequences of saying a word. How ridiculous is that? Now, we all know social consequences. Like, you be aggressive with anybody, you're, in a sense, asking for something, but that's just common sense. We're talking about the ridiculous identification with a word. To feel so offended on behalf of others at times. It's crazy. Well, these young people, they don't really care. They're going harder the other way, saying edgy, crazy things. Things you're not allowed to say. You know, I like how this is kind of spilled over into not being too into trauma and stuff. Like rolling your eyes at the, Holocaust or this or that. You know, maybe they don't quite understand that all should forgive. And maybe that's why some part of them is like rolling their eyes at all that, because it's like, get over it. But you guys understanding me here in an understanding way, understanding where you are today. It's not happening today, etc. I like how that's a thing that is interesting. Makes sense to me. And people talk about real things like foreign influence, being too intertwined with other people's problems, nations. Did you see 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒂𝒍𝒔 today? So interesting. Very clear, sober-minded about real things. Well, like, what's so controversial about that? What is so controversial about that? About having questions. I know people they'll say, well, it wasn't 6 million, right? And that's which is a weird number. They've connected. I've seen stuff that this number is like an old number and stuff. It's strange stuff. But bad things happen, right? Like, this is my understanding and this is how I see it. Like evil things happened. So I'm not like moonlighting as something here. Like hating people and blaming. Here's the thing. I think Uncle A, as they call him, you know, the Austrian painter, I think he hated Christ. You know, I have a very interesting guest coming for you this Friday. a little bit about this. Maybe Hitler hated Christ. Maybe that gives you a little clue. But I'm going to have a very nice, awesome guest this Friday. Don't miss it. I have a very cool show. We're going to take a flight. We missed the flight this past Friday. Should be a sweet flight this Friday on this channel. Don't miss it. Click the notification bell so you don't miss it. I'm going to be having a special guest. Very cool. And so I'm being careful with my language because check this out. Look at my show from yesterday. If you didn't catch it, my show from yesterday titled Irish Rage, White People's Fight for Their Life or Their Death Throes. Scary. But here, well, let me just show you here. Looking like Mario. It looks funny. We got, look what YouTube gave me. They gave me a little warning here. Or not I don't know if it's a warning, but more like I got community notes. Like a context community notes thing here. Check it out. White genocide conspiracy theory. This was from yesterday's show. And they linked to this Wikipedia article here. White genocide conspiracy theory. They're just letting people know, hey, this Frank Zappa, this Fast and Bulbous, this Captain Beefheart here. Look, we're just gonna give you guys some context because there's a lot of misinformation here. Well, thank you, YouTube. Make sure that people are well informed here. And what they linked an article to is this white genocide conspiracy theory article. It's a white supremacist conspiracy theory that states that there is a deliberate plot, often blamed on the Jews, to promote miscegenation, interracial marriage, mass non-white immigration, racial integration, low fertility rates, abortion, pornography, LGBT identities, governmental land confiscation from whites, organized violence, and eliminationism in white-founded countries. That's what this white genocide conspiracy theory is, okay? It's a white supremacist theory that is often blamed on Jews. That's about promoting blah, 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 all those things I mentioned. Which is like funny. It's like reading this Wikipedia article is almost like surreal. I'm reading this going like, it's like I'm in a movie and I'm walking through like a I don't know, like a It's a Small World After All, like fun ride. And it's supposed to be like my life or the world I live in. And I'm passing by and it's like interracial marriages, ads for that stuff. It's everywhere. I'm passing by and I'm saying it's LGBT, abortion. They're in the streets. They're like, it's a woman's thing. They're lying and gaslighting about that. Low fertility rates. Well, that is true. Like it's a reality. I'm not saying why. I've said why before, and I think it's their own fault as well. But I'm seeing the images of the border, and I'm going through this fun ride, and then at the end they say, this is all how it's supposed to be. Don't freak. This is how it's supposed to be. This is all according to plan. Everything you just saw. No, why are you saying that's weird? It's like so surreal. None of that is related and being pushed. It's so strange. It's like a gaslighting. It's pure gaslighting. But here's the thing about this too, is how shallow YouTube is. Think about this for a second. We're solid. Bill? We got Bill in the building. Thank you. Thank you, sir. The conspiracy, they're talking about conspiracy. It's a conspiracy on Wikipedia here. That's a white genocide conspiracy. Here's YouTube coming in, bringing in context. But look at how shallow everyone is. The conspiracy goes way deeper than that. Like way, ooh. Gematria, symbol. No. It goes so much deeper than that. The conspiracy goes deep. And to be clear on what I'm saying here is, I talked yesterday about the Irish people fighting back and all this, okay? White people fighting back. Are they fighting for their lives, or is it the death throes of a great civilization, a once great civilization? Doesn't really have to be that way. It's not really that dark and deep. But it is. Wait, let's tangent here. Look, to be clear on what I'm saying here, I want to make a point clear that I was saying yesterday, but could maybe be lost, you might think, with the words like fighting back. What did Nick mean? And I said something about being civilized. What is civilized and what is fighting back? To be clear about this, I'm talking about the Irish people and seeing them riot out there, burning stuff and all that. And I acknowledge the injustice that's going on with white people around the world, really. And the ongoing mess, you know, this kind of stuff that doesn't get addressed, doesn't get dealt with, doesn't seem to get, there's no one fixing it. All coming to a head, almost forcing the situation in Dublin, right? The endless gaslighting, the brainwashing. In this Wikipedia article, it was almost meant to happen. It's almost like there was no choice but for this to happen. It's like a Greek tragedy, okay? It's like a tragedy destined to happen. What's going on with white people and their countries and all this. And with the whole world, it seems. And just like a tragedy, because of people's nature, is the reason the tragedy happens. It's people's nature that it's like it's written on the walls. It just has to go this way. And just like a tragedy, the only way to stop what's destined is a miracle. It's like an actual miracle. I mean, think about it like this. Sure, one man, for example, one enlightened and determined man, maybe someone you can think of in recent history. This determined, enlightened individual convicted. That's a miracle. But also the quiet individual, the one man deciding to forgive, the one man deciding to turn away from anger in his own life, that's a miracle. Miracles. And so just like a tragedy, the players in it, the actors, the people, they're pawns. They're pawns for evil, essentially. They don't know it. And those, the Europeans, the Americans, the West, the people that I'm talking about, they're embracing savagery. They're embracing savagery and not civility. I saw that tweet I talked about yesterday. Oh, they're saying it's like Black Lives Matter. Well, Black Lives Matter is effective, and we're going to make it, well, and so you're just calling it Black Lives, but it is. It literally is like Black Lives Matter. And you think burning it down and building it back up, like you are those same people from before that made all this. You're LARPing. I acknowledge the injustice, right? But also I showed you how fellow white people were out there protesting for these stabbing immigrants. Let's call them the stabbies, the stabbing immigrants. I mean, they're not all of them, right? Not all of them. I mean, how did a globalist, half Indian, pro-stabby, Irish citizen become Taoiseach of this nation? That's the head of state, apparently. Taoiseach. How did that guy become Taoiseach? Huh? Remember, they called this Algerian guy a citizen because he was there and he has a passport. And he has a passport and he lived there for 20 years. I thought citizen meant you agreed with something here. You're a part of the whole grander scheme here, and you're not. A citizen doesn't go around stabbing people. So how did that globalist guy become Taoiseach? How did the word citizen become so meaningless to the Irish? Because the word citizen lost all meaning well before this stabbing. You feel me? So Mark, caller from yesterday, I really didn't disagree with anything he said. But he's such an interesting call because I understand this whole thing and the injustice. But all his fighting back hasn't worked. 50 years of fighting back. And I get it. He's tried to get involved politically, try to get someone in office and all that. So it's not really about harping on Mark individually. He's a decent guy as far as I know. So I'm just trying to make a point here that it's a mistake. Because why? Why does this happen? Why did this happen? Why did Ireland get to this point? How did it all come to this point? Well, this is what I mean about the conspiracy goes deeper. YouTube, this Wikipedia article, white genocide theory, so shallow. That's just, you're just seeing what's going on. That's just like the surface. You're just saying, oh, wow, I'm seeing this move that way and this move that way. I'm seeing some patterns here. And you come up with these crazy conclusions. It goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than the deep state. It goes deeper than corrupt religions, corrupt Jews, those Jews. The answer to why this happened to white people, and we can learn from white people for all people, the same way I've learned from, for example, what's been going on with black people. It's taught me a lot about myself. Why did this happen to whites and all people? It's not all the things I just listed, but they turned away from God. Okay, I mean, I know it's like easy for me to say that, like it makes it sound like I'm with God. I'm an arse. I'm an arse. Like I'm an actual a-hole. It's kind of funny. Think about it. Like in the Bible, isn't it like time and time again people turn away from God? It's not anything but that. Time and time again. Isn't that the story? The story is they turn away from God. And so the civilized thing is not to fight, but to become right. Ooh, I know, it sounds cute. But I hope you understand for yourself really what I'm trying to say here. There is a civilized way to fight, okay? Don't get me wrong. There's a civilized way to fight. There's a time for everything. But you think you're like the nobility. We think we're the like nobility, the Knights of Templar, the distinguished crusaders for God or some crap. I don't know. So anyways, maybe I'm tripping. What do you guys think? I'm just some Gampo. Look, here's kind of like to the voice I hear that's like, Nick, that's just too difficult. Yes, I hear voices. Okay, I have a specter. I'm just saying, I see it in the chats. I see it out there. There's a spirit, okay, and it's saying it's too difficult. Oh, that's just never gonna happen, man. That's never gonna happen. That's not realistic. It's not feasible. Your people forgive it. What are you talking about? Christianity? Like, we gotta ban this or that. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying what needs to be done politically. It's like, I'm not saying that's not to say that political things and physical things don't have to be done. They must be done. But if you think that's what's going to save America, then you got, like you got some, you think the strategy is we're going to get rid of the Zionists and all that. I've already said, that there may be a problem with foreign influence, but think about this for a second here. Oh, you got to get rid of the Zionists, then you don't really know how deep the conspiracy really goes, okay? You don't really believe that the people who made this country did it through God, through that God connection. And because you don't realize that, you will never rebuild what they built because you think it's too difficult. You don't realize what it takes. Anyways. Just don't call Nick's mustache a dirty. Hey, don't stick a Carver. That's a Urban Dictionary term I shall not repeat. What's up, Brennan? Shout out to Conor McGregor. Where was Conor when this is like, I'm not trying to be all nitpicky here. It's like fight for your, Look, I'm just saying hasn't this been going on in Ireland? Been bad. I know it all came to a head, but don't you see? This is how the tragedy is supposed to play out. This is how the tragedy is supposed to play out. The whites fight and destroy themselves. And then, I don't know, rebirths, other things, but that's a get worse before it gets better kind of situation. People got the wrong idea. Burning those cop cars out there like Black Lives Matter, like, yeah. Now this is us turning it up. This is us turning it around. No, that's the late stages. That's the late stages of your destruction. Creating more ghettos. What are y'all saying in the chat? What you saying? Inigo Montoya news. You got to take me seriously. I know I look ridiculous, but you got to take me seriously right now. The week I choose to be funny. I might have to shave for Friday because we're going to be all super serious. No, but we're going to be chilling because it'll be Nick's stream. We got a nice guest, and I was going to walk into this mess. We have a nice guest, and we're trying to be a little serious here. Should be nice. Don't miss it this Friday, 4 p.m. around that time. Ghettos. The ghettos rise. Ghettos. Ghettos. Hello. Okay. Trying to read the chat here. Catch up. I've been in a fugue state just speaking at this camera. Nice. What's up, everybody? Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. We got Ohio Sentinel, Mildew Groot, DJ T 2020. Thank you, everybody. Bobby Blanco, keeping it alive. Rumble. Ketchup. Okay, folks. We got more stuff to get into. Because they're saying there's all this incel stuff. We'll get into that later. There's some pretty interesting stuff going on with the incels in Canada. He's an anchor baby from Canada. Yeah, I grew up in Canada. 9 years old, I arrived from America. American anchor baby. Strange, I know. But we moved to Canada. I was 9 years old. Yeah. Canada, it's changed so much. I was telling my caller, Mark, yesterday, just how much it's changed. He was talking about how the northern border is now becoming an issue with illegal immigration. Well, it's kind of a beachhead. I was saying this the other day. Canada is a beachhead for the international community. I showed you that clip yesterday, right? This guy, this black guy on TikTok talking about the international community is going to come down on Ireland. You're going to accept us, and we're going to contribute. It's like, wow, this is how you contribute? Thank you. Thank you very much for your contributions, but you can maybe contribute somewhere else. But that's very nice of you. And he's saying, he said the international community, who taught him that? Canada is a beachhead for that crap. And you got, like, it's not enclaves anymore. They have cities they called Brampton. I remember growing up. Brampton is a city in the greater Toronto area or near it, the GTA. They call it Browntown. The west coast of Canada is Chinese. And last time I went to visit Square One, Mississauga, that mall that is at the center of the city, it's Mississauga. That mall changed so much. There was immigrants before, but and I remember there was huge waves when I was a kid. There was one time where they like open the floodgates up, and I was like really foreign people with coverings that I've never seen before. It's like I didn't know the floodgates weren't totally open. Apparently, I went back, left 2019, went back to visit just a few years later. It's like packs of these Arab-looking people. Look, that's just what I saw. This is just a fact, okay? Oh, he's so hateful. Hey, whatever. Take it how you will. It's not hateful. The packs of these people, unibrowed up like totally foreign, okay? I don't know how else to tell you this. It just wasn't the same. It was not the same. It was, packed. It's crazy. Yep. Oh, you know what? I mean, I guess I still had a little bit more of this rant. You know, it's like Ian Miles Chung. You know this guy on Twitter, on X.com? I believe he's like Malaysian or something. And he posts content, he makes commentary. He's been a political commentary guy on the internet for a long time, as far as I could tell. He's built a popular following, I think. Whoa, we're gonna lead Lil Nick on this one. And he's posting this right here. The caption is, "Why is she so smug and annoying?" Okay. Now I think this is a she. I think this is a she. And this is a she on TikTok talking about something that I'm talking about a little bit. And Ian Miles Chung says, "It's so smug and annoying. This is just so smug and annoying." Am I muted here? What do I gotta do? Boom. Why is this smug and annoying? What do you guys think?
That with your full chest, didn't you?
Oh, okay, sorry. You need more context. She's replying She's replying to a message here. The message reads, the message reads, occasionally deconstructing cis straight men. For what? Existing? Yeah. You seem real cool. You know, cis white men are literally why you exist. So it's some person in the comments of this lady, and she's responding to that.
Oh, you really said that with your full chest, didn't you?
There may be swearing, you know, these people that don't respect it, that the sun is out, and that people don't talk like that in the day like this. You shouldn't talk like that normally, but be wary.
Mention whiteness in my video, but I'm glad you did, because now I get to say what I should have said before. My page is not a safe space for white supremacists. In fact, it's not a kind, polite, or friendly space for anyone who's not willing to acknowledge their white ignorance and the inherent violence that's built into it. Now, before all the men come after me, I am not saying that white men are by nature biologically violent, but I am saying that if you're a white person, especially a white man, you've inherited a legacy of patriarchal violence, and it's your lifelong burden to heal that, both internally and within the world around you. Now get the fuck off my page.
See, told you. So, I know, I get it. You've heard this before. It's like, oh, she's so smug and annoying. You probably agree with Ian Miles Chong here. She does sound smug and annoying. But that's like the reaction now, right? It's like, ugh, I've heard that, you dumb person. But wait, why is she dumb? Do you really understand? Because this is the specter white people are facing. Think about this. This is actually a poetic. This is the Greek tragedy on display. This is the white man's woman. The white man's woman hating her natural beauty, putting on this garish pink color to stand out, be really it's actually this female thing. It's actually this. You've seen the most craziest of these examples are when they go nuts with piercings and tattoos. It's a way of like, oh, you think I'm beautiful? You think that's what you see me as? Oh yeah, and then they graffiti themselves or slash. Oh yeah, you still think I'm beautiful, huh? You still think you still love this? It's a hatred of life, and so you get the white man's woman, and she may be young here, but one day to be a white man's woman. Look, talking about how she hates the white man. Do you see? Do you really understand here? This is the specter white people are facing. What's up, Ivana? What's up, cuz? So. What else about this? What else? Nobility. I mean, check it out. This is your nobility. This is another eye roll. Oh yeah, I've seen this one before. Meghan Markle. Oh, the beta male. But it's like, dang, this is poetic justice. This is like the story. This is the Greek tragedy right here. This is the white man, the lineage, nobility. Nobility. Just totally wrapped in her world. One woman broke the royal family. Obviously it's a far cry from what it was well before the prince here. But you understand, this is the latest stage, the latest chapter in the fall of the nobility. Those that made the society you're talking about. I'm talking about. You know what I mean here? It's a tragicomedy here. Here it is. Anyways. What are y'all saying? I think I'm caught up here. There's still time to repent. Exactly. That's the whole thing here too. That's why I was telling Mark too. That's kind of what I meant. I wasn't trying to say, well, what was I trying to say there? Because I was saying, like, Mark, you don't need to be all with this crew that you think is with you. There's no one with you. It's still time to repent. And I'm not saying he hasn't. I guess I mean that for all people. I'm just kind of generally saying that to all people. Anyways. ramble. I think at this point we got more things. Let me move on. I don't want to move on. I don't want to move on. I don't want to move on. We got to save this country. Oh yeah, check it out. I got a call. In fact, Rick. Wow, Rick, Hampton, Virginia. Are you still on the line there?
Yes, I am.
What's up, Rick? How you been?
Man, not a thing, that Nick.
Welcome, sir. I think
First time getting on your show.
Hey, I think so. Yeah. What's up, Rick? I've been taking your calls for a long time now.
Yes,
Or it
man.
feels like
So,
it.
wow. So I call all three of y'all show, but even though I didn't get on, Jesse, Joel, and James show, but I got on yours.
Yes, sir.
So
You would. You will find a way, and you did. Very nice.
Yes, man. So if I got on, man, I'm gonna get to my discussion, man. I don't know. What you listened to the Jesse B. Peterson show earlier when it was Jason and Brother William called in. I knew what I was gonna go to because he gave it to you straight.
Wait.
That part?
Who gave it to who straight?
You remember Jason called Jesse's show.
Yeah, I remember that.
And William called in. When they said, "Hey, somebody want to talk to you, Jason," they said, "Who?" William. I said, "Uh-oh." Now, William got a lot of wisdom to share with that kid, but these young kids are so angry, man. They can't.
But he held back.
You know.
William's got a lot of wisdom, but he held back. He kept that he kept that in the holster. He took out the other gun though. He's like, hitting him with the, me too. He was like, where's your dad? Where's your dad? I'm like, dang. Okay. I'm like, okay. Now the wisdom's hit him with the wisdom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Where'd that go?
Not took it personal.
Yeah.
He could have learned something from that, but he was already had his guard up trying to prove to him like he's smart. I like said, okay.
The problem is there's no time. They're all getting into like, it becomes a shout match. Maybe if he had more time, he could have gotten to him. I think if he had more time, he could have gone to him.
Where part of California Williams from?
You know what? I don't know. Somewhere north. I don't really want to put too much of his personal business out there, though.
Okay, yeah. I like William, man. I mean,
for sure.
I like William.
We
have a lot of words. I like us. We gotta get with them gangster voices, man. But anyway, though.
Yeah.
What?
I bet you that dynamic though is what's happening in like really all people, but in homes across America, black homes across America. You got Willie. I'm sure he has some wisdom to show him, and if he had more time, I'm sure he could have gone to Jason. But I'm sure that's happening in like every home. It's like shouting, and it's like boy, like you really could, like, you're just so silly, because it's really silly. Think about it, how silly young people, young blacks are saying with all the blaming and all that. It's true. It's like they really could learn something if they just chilled out here, but it's just like a shouting match. That's probably happening in like every home if you think about it.
Yeah, because William like said, you don't need to call the show no more. And he's like, he can call the show. And what Jesse asked him was, if the blacks take over, how would the neighborhood look? And Jason know that. Man, most of the time when blacks take over, man, blacks don't care about, they try. You can go to a black area, and they stay in an apartment complex. They're trying to put a mattress in the blue dumpster, taking up all around. Now you got to put the trash on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You think Jason knows that? I bet you. I don't know. It's interesting.
He got to know, man. He has to know.
That's so funny. He knows, man. Yeah, he knows.
He does in the skin color, man, and that's how they keep blacks trapped. Keep them focused on their skin color. That's when they find their identity. And that's why you find a lot of blacks, when they get money, buy a lot of clothes and cars, because they're trying to get respect.
Dang. So female.
I mean, you don't have to get...
If you think about it, it's so feminine. I'm going to get the girl by dressing right, by dressing right. And a point I remember, a very salient point I remember reading, I think, in The Antidote, Jesse's book. But that they're trying to get the right clothes to get the woman.
They spend so much money on their skin color, trying to get respect, man. I want to get respect from the white man. I said, just love people. You get all the respect you need. You don't have to, and that's why it's so much about color. And then the liberal and the liberals keep them on. It's like the black liberals keep them down there. Then when they start, and the white liberals reinforce it.
Dang. Yeah.
And you know, and it's crazy. But I also want to share too, real quick, Nick. You know how you have blended families?
Say it one more time.
When you have blended families, you know how like if a man married a woman with children?
That's a blended family?
Yes, we call them blended families. If a man
Wait.
have a kid. Go ahead.
Oh, so blended family is not like, I thought that was like interracial or something.
Oh, no. Blended family is like...
That's a swirled family. That's a mixed family. Okay.
Yeah.
So blended
Right.
family means like you got... define it for me one more time. I've never heard this.
A blended family is when a man, he has kids, and he marries a woman, and she has kids.
A blended
That's
mess.
considered a blended family.
More like a blended mess.
That's what that be.
But you were saying...
And,
my bad.
Yep, that's what I was saying. And my thing is, I tell men, you know, when you get... Basically, don't even marry no one with no kids. I done that because I had a kid when I married my wife, and she had a kid. So I was, at that time, I said, hey, who am I not to take no one with no kid if I got one, because she has to deal with my child. So I married one with a kid, but what I should have did was just wait till my son got grown and then married.
Wow.
That would have been a proper way of doing it.
That's such an interesting conclusion and realization. Why do you say that?
Yeah. Well, see, the reason I say that for, because when it comes, let's say like, most times, you know, the men brings the wealth to the family. The men brings the wealth. So they bring the wealth, and then that man dies. That woman gets that man's money and give it to all her kids, and his kids don't even know what he got. They don't get nothing. And then if he leaves a will for her, she probably get that will and put it in a recycle bin and just give it all to her kids.
Right. There's
Them
like
kids tend to be vultures.
Something about the whole setup is kind of destined to be corrupt. Somewhere you can't be totally correct there. You can't totally the spirits don't totally connect there.
I don't know why it's always stepkids that be want to get the most money, because like I said, most times their mothers don't bring nothing but marriage and children. So
that's deep though, the way you're saying that.
Yeah,
it's because
when a husband dies,
please finish. My bad.
And then once the man dies, the woman's in charge, so she gets all her kids his wealth, and she never looks out for his kids. But men have to do that, man. I mean, like you give will to your wife, and if your kid is responsible, give him a copy. Then you give, maybe like if you got any sisters and brothers or your mother, you give them a copy. That way you protect your child.
Or avoid the thing ever in the first place. But what you're saying is deep, because this is kind of in my opinion, folks, a sign of a mature look at your own life, because it's like, okay, I got myself in the situation, but that being said, north is north, you know, right is right, wrong is wrong. That doesn't mean you got to trip. But right on, man. Very cool.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Rick.
I mean, just tell it out to me. No problem. And Nick, man, enjoy the show, man. Keep up the good work, man.
Call me again, Rick. A pleasure as always.
Yes, sir. Will do.
Nice. Oh, let me get to the button. Oh, I missed it. Ooh, my bad. Thank you, Rick. Great call. I mean, I've been taking his call for a long time. First time. Anchor baby. Talking mess about Jason. Poor Jason in the chat. You're getting cooked, gangy. Family. Yo, Jason, family. You're getting cooked in the comments, gangy. Millet is a Zionist. And you know what we do. You know what we do to Zionists. You know what we do to Zionists around here. Photos of Argentina's Javier Milei visits the Ojel. The Ojel? What's that? See, I'm learning about these things. And they're saying he's a Zionist and all this. I don't know. I don't know if that's so important. It's been interesting to speak about, let's say, foreign influence, for example, that I wasn't aware of. But at the same time, like, for example, I think about my friend. I have a friend of mine, older guy. He's a Hispanic man, and I respect this guy. Like, I respect this guy a lot. He, like, did this whole thing when he was a little younger. And he got way into, I don't know what it is, to be honest, like Judaism or something, and was around amongst them and was like knew a lot of it. He's like one of the most decent people I know. So this guy loves the Jews. What's the BFD? Argentina's Javier Milei visits the It's like, can you have a wait and see attitude with things? I feel like they used to do that. I mean, I sound maybe like I'm grumbling of a time before me, but I'm really just LARPing. But I feel like it really was like that. Maybe, you know what? I'll see. I don't know. I can't confirm. I don't know about this guy, but I can't confirm. Maybe he's not America first. I'll wait and see. What, can we have a wait and see? Holy. Now, what's interesting about this is I think this is what interested me is apparently, what is this? This is what interested me. Am I to understand that he went to the U.S. to a Jewish holy site? Argentina's president-elect Javier Milei on Monday visited the burial site of the 7th Lubavitcher Rebbe. I don't know what that is, folks. Menachem Mendel. These are strange foreign magical words. Lubavitcher Rebbe Menachem Mendel. These are names. Okay. And the first stop of his visit to the United States. And he went to the Oho. Is this, am I to understand, is a Jewish holy site in New York? Queens, New York? I didn't know Queens, New York had a Jewish holy site. That's interesting. Like, how do you make it? How do you make a Jewish holy site? How do you make a holy site? What are the rules? What's the process here? Is there a governing body here? Is there a criteria here? What's the application process like? Sacrifice, yes, no, yay or nay? Is it New Kingdom rules? Is it Old Testament? What are we talking here, huh? What's it take? I'd be kind of interested. What's it take to make a Jewish holy site? Make a holy site. How do you make a holy site? On earth, holiness on earth. Is that silly? Is that like a silly thing? A holy place on earth. We've made this hallowed holy place. This table, this studio is holy. Is that silly? That's some weird stuff. It's a holy place. Jerusalem. Where two or more are gathered. I don't know. What the heck do I know? It's a holy site. But yeah, okay, so Javier Milei, what's the big deal? He loves the Jews. He's just like, wow, he's like crying with this guy. He's like crying with this guy. Okay, bro. He's having a spiritual experience here. He's kind of like those he reminds me of the, I'm just seeing this now. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch atah Adonai. Kind of like the when I'd go see. I remember my mom sent me to this like religious retreat stuff. It was this Christian Hispanic religious retreat stuff. It was crazy. It was nuts. They were like these prayer circles of young children. Every time we were gonna have lunch before every activity, and every time breakfast, lunch, dinner, it was like, okay, time to pray. 5 minutes. It turns into this crying 40-minute crying fest. Jesus, Jesus. It was like that. I'm like, guys, come on. It's like, you already did this today. Come on, guys. Be reasonable. Be reasonable. It's 12 o'clock. Is Javier Milei having himself a Jewish religious experience? What's the big deal? Look, I'm not even counter signaling or being coded with what's the big deal? He loves the Jews. Like at this point in time, you're just being ignorant. How? How am I being ignorant? Use name. I know decent people who got super into this stuff. I'm just saying, if he's not Argentina first, then get this guy out. Obviously, show me that though. all this is this maybe a little strange. Okay, fine. But he's crying with the Jews here. Okay, he really likes the Jews. Okay? He seems so promising, too. He seems so promising, but it's over. We had the wings. Javier Milei on the left. I mean, like the left of the planet. And the other guy on the right. He's crying because his following on YouTube is about to double. Isn't he Jew? Oh, so he is actually Jewish, says Hake. Well, then that makes even, that's Argentina's new president. Argentina's new president. I mean, Baruch Adonai. Adonai. Nick, do you know the history of World War II in Argentina? Not necessarily. Do you really know it? I'm not saying I know the history. I'm not saying that there weren't strange. I'm not saying they're our greatest ally and there weren't bad things done to us by current state Israel. And are they really? Look. But how is the answer? How is username? I see you in the channel all the time. I really do appreciate the support always. Nick, do you know the history of World War II Argentina? An answer to that question. How is an answer to that question, which there is an answer to that question, username, fair enough. But how is an answer to that question an answer to, is Javier Milei going to be a good Argentinian president? Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I'm being ignorant. But you see, like, this dichotomy I'm describing here makes sense to me. An answer to what you're saying here about, well, do you know the history of World War II? Okay, well, here's the history of World War II. And here's a man crying with the Jews. Okay, a little emotional. You know, he wants to get all this. He might be a chance for the Argentinians. You don't know that. Maybe a stepping stone. There's a grander thing here that I don't know if you know. Anyway, I'm not saying he's like this great guy either. Maybe he's a total arse. Who freaking knows? I'm focused on America. What's up, Beal? Man, Stevie Wonder. Sit down. Go sit down, Stevie Wonder. Blind. They say he's blind. They say he's blind. I mean, I guess I'll show you this quick before we get into this other main thing I wanted to talk about, the incels. Ooh, this will be quite interesting. Don't miss it. But this is silly. Look, Stevie Wonder. What is this? Who cares about what this guy thinks? They say he's blind. I don't know. We kind of got Bill thinking. Speaking of Bill, in the studio, Skeptic Bill. Look, people ask me, Nick, is the Earth round or flat? I tell them, Bill says it's flat. Bill says it's round. Okay, punto final. You know what I mean? He's a smart man. And Ivana. I can't repeat what Ivana says. I can't repeat it, but that's what we convinced Bill. We planted the seed in Bill. Skeptic Bill, he was like, we were showing him some evidence to the contrary about that ninja. Because that ninja ain't blind. Sit down with your blind. Okay, no, he's blind. There's a conspiracy that he's not. His name came up to the White House press secretary. Yeah. And we all want to know what Stevie Wonder's got to say. Karine Jean-Pierre was asked a question. This kind of fits earlier stuff too, by the way. The specter white people and black people are facing. Look at journalist. We talked about journalists yesterday. This real journalist. She calls herself April Ryan. Oh, dang! April Ryan got the Lil' Kim. Uh-oh. Sorry. Queen got the Lil' Kim here. Lil' Kim, is that what I'm talking about? Not Lil' Kim. Yeah, Lil' Kim. She's rocking the Lil' Kim. Is this the Lil' Kim effect going on here? Uh-oh. Anyways, April Ryan, nice lady, I'm sure. Writer for the Griot, which is like this black, like, news site. entertainment and video content website geared toward African Americans. And normally I wouldn't care about that. Normally I wouldn't care about a black news site. But it's like communist propaganda, okay? It's victim mentality crap. The Griot, here's your reporter from the Griot talking to Karine Jean-Pierre about important girl boss news. Okay, this is important. This is a message straight from Stevie Wonder. Straight from Stevie Wonder. Let's watch this video. Hold on. Karine Jean-Pierre. Hard-hitting stuff at the White House.
Karine, I had an in-depth conversation with Stevie Wonder last night.
Oh.
Who is...
I love Stevie Wonder.
Oh my God, I love Stevie Wonder.
Serious question. I had an in-depth conversation with Stevie Wonder last night, who is requesting a meeting with the president. He's very concerned about the black agenda falling along the wayside and issues like laws of 50 years ago that are now being abolished or gutted, to include issues like the Voting Rights Act, what happened in Arkansas last week, affirmative action, Supreme Court, we've seen it, ban on books, and he's also even brought up issues of the Congo and the lack of information from the White House. Is the White House amenable to sitting down with Stevie Wonder, who has met with presidents throughout history, to include Ronald Reagan? He was one of the major impetus for getting the holiday for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And also, he was one of those who worked with President Obama in his efforts to become president. Is this president amenable to meeting with Stevie Wonder, who has these concerns?
And you're right, April, what you just laid out in your question.
You're right, April. Okay, we got the ladies. I just got a comment. I just have to interject. You go walk in front, no problem. We got stuff going on in the studio. Would you be amenable to sitting down with Stevie Wonder? Oh, yes. We need to sit down with Stevie Wonder, get the action plan, because they're forgetting about the blacks, okay? They're saying, did you forget about the black agenda? I think she even said those words. Because, okay, you're forgetting about someone. Yeah, black people, your usefulness is running up. Your usefulness is... I get to be kind of an evil villain with this. Yes, black people, your usefulness is running up. Yeah, it's running up, okay? These Gotham City villains that run things. It's like a comic book sometimes. They, you know what circumstances are not amenable? Am I using that word correctly? Yeah. Their usage of black people to divide the country is maybe starting to become a little too much for the bargain, a little too violent, causing too much ruckus, pain, money. They kind of won't stand. It's like, okay, we got them to do this, but now we can't get them to do this. They're all mad about Palestine. They're gonna riot if we do this. It's too much. We need a new slave labor class. And you know what? These Mexicans will do just fine. Sorry, blacks. Sorry, blacks. No, okay. Let's finish this video.
Is incredibly important. And so we take that very, very seriously here. Can I just say a couple things about Stevie Wonder? He is indeed an icon who's made tremendous contributions to the civil rights movement and also voting rights. And as you just listed out, he was one of the main voices in getting Dr. Martin Luther King Day. And we appreciate that. We appreciate his brilliance, and we appreciate what he's been able to do on behalf of the community. So I can't, as far as a meeting with the president, certainly I'm not aware of any meetings with Mr. Wonder or any
Mr. Wonder
meetings, and I don't have anything to announce, obviously, at this time. But I also want to say that on the president's first day in this administration, he has taken this very seriously as it relates to what we're seeing, right, as it relates to racial inequality. He called it one of the four major crises that we have to deal with as a country when he stepped into office. And
she said, "Mr. Wonder." She said, "Mr. Wonder." I might make a mistake like that. Okay, let's not laugh too hard. Mr. Wonder, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Morris, isn't it, Mr. Stevland Hardaway Morris. Nee Judkins? Isn't this usually when a woman changes her name? in Wikipedia, they'll have their name, and then in parentheses, N-E, and then their name that they had before. Judkins. Did he, like, take on some woman's name? Stevie Wonder? I don't know. Too much to go into. I mean, the man's blind. Leave him alone, right? The man is blind. Leave the blind man alone. Leave the blind man alone who Shaq had an interesting conversation with. Leave the blind man alone. Okay? Leave him alone. Leave him alone. No, don't listen to Questlove. Questlove is a crazy person. He's a person who can see, too. He hates blind people. Questlove hates blind people, so leave the blind man alone. All right, that's enough of that. I got a actual story here, a serious one. He changed his name before. Yeah, it's like a stage name, Stevie Wonder, known professionally as Stevie Wonder. Okay. Oh, let me make sure I didn't miss any of your support here. Hold on. Hey, thank you, Carver. Sorry about that. Carver, super chatting there, says, Nick sabotaging to take Bill's job, immigrant style. You know me. Bill wasn't doing it well enough. I can sabotage things better. He's not sabotaging things, Carver. But this mustachioed individual, I don't know about him. I don't think we could trust him. Leave Stevie alone. Okay. Hey, yo. Canada. Let's go to Canada for this one. I grew up in Canada. You know this. I'm here in America. I care for America. America first. I'm going to vote. If I do something like that, it's about this country. This is where I'm at. That being said, I have a place in my heart for the Canadians here. If I have a place in my heart for anyone. I really like that phrase. Shout out The Hague Report. In Canada, they're talking about incels. They're talking about incels. Judge sentences an incel killer. In fact, Canada's first incel terrorist. You hear about this? A judge sentences an incel killer as a terrorist. Big stuff here. They're first of its kind, of this kind of terror, this brand of terrorism that is sweeping the nation. Bloody stuff. I mean, it's a horrible attack that happened, I believe, in 2020. This is an attack that took place in a massage parlor. No, not that 2021 massage parlor shooting in Atlanta. No. That was March 2021. Like a what? I forget what he was. If he was like a Mormon individual. Robert Aaron Long, white guy. He was having major issues with sexual immorality, if I can be brief. Or so he thought. He thought he was having major issues with sexual immorality. Actually, it wasn't really an issue at all. He just didn't know that. Not realizing it wasn't a big deal. It's crazy. This is about a Toronto machete attack. No. I'm not talking about the 2018 machete stabbing that killed one in Toronto. It saw a 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒎. I don't know how to say his name. Not a very Canadian name. Saw this one man arrested for that stabbing in Toronto. No, not that 2018 Toronto machete attack, this 45-year-old man. I'm talking about a 2020 machete attack in Toronto. Now, the nation's first incel terror attack. No, I'm not talking about the 2018 Toronto van attack, also perpetrated by a self-described incel, Arab-looking guy, big old unibrow. Didn't know the Arabs were incels. No, I'm not talking about that one. Amazing. Country with no guns. A country with such strict gun laws and all that. You'd think they'd have this all figured out. With the censorship and all the liberal government, you'd think this would be a haven where all hate has been dealt with. Where hate has no home here. Hate has no home here. Hate has no home. Where Canada remains strong in the face of hate, equality. You'd think they'd have that figured out. Maybe they're still working it out, right? You gotta... A genocide doesn't happen overnight. A expelling of a replacing of a people doesn't happen. Oh, anyways. Amazing how all that doesn't work. No, I'm not talking about any of those. I'm talking about a Canadian boy, a little Canadian boy, 17-year-old little tiny little boy. Poor little tiny 17-year-old Canadian little boy who stabbed a woman to death in an erotic massage parlor with a sword. He has his murder charge now upgraded to terrorism after he's linked to this incel movement. Juvenile suspect had his charges upgraded. Crazy stuff here. One victim there and hurt another in this stabbing in 2020. A teenager accused of stabbing a woman to death with a sword at a Toronto massage parlor was charged with terrorism Tuesday after police said they uncovered evidence. The attack was inspired by an online community of sexually frustrated men known as the incel movement. 17-year-old originally charged with first-degree murder, attempted murder on the 24th of February following multiple stabbings at the Crown Spa. Faces upgraded counts. Killed a Ashleen Arzaga, 24 years old, found dead. Mother of a 5-year-old girl. Female owner found wounded of the spa, the owner of the spa. Owners told the report that she lost a finger. Holy, this guy was slicing and dicing. Movement has been linked to multiple deadly attacks that have targeted women. I mean, this is not the first incel attack. I just told you that earlier. Accused in the Toronto stabbing case cannot be identified because of his age. This is a little boy. Appeared in court via video on Tuesday to face the updated charges. It's the first time in Canada that a terrorism charge has been laid over violence tied to involuntary celibates. It's a pandemic. These involuntary celibates are going nuts. These white school not exactly fit the narrative here. I wonder what this one was, but Arab incel, Alex Minassian. Oh, and this, yeah, anyways, it doesn't quite fit the narrative, but we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna ignore that. They're saying it's the first terrorism-linked case here in Canada. And I'm talking about this 17-year-old boy. I'm talking about this little boy, obviously, but I mentioned so many others already in this short time that you could maybe mistake it for this one. Linked maybe? Do you see the connection between them all? Like, you see the connection between the names I made, like the 2021, the parlor, the machete attacks, the van attack, incels. Do you see the connection between it all? It wasn't guns. It wasn't. Oh, maybe you'll say, well, it's the incel ideology. Not Fathola here. He was an angry man. Not the. Anyways. I'm talking about these people. Do you see the connection? This lonely, vengeful, bitter, female, weak, beta male, wishy-washy, nervous, agitated, highly imaginative, in their head type person, hyper, female, like female spirit. You see the spirit? Do you see the connection? That's the link. That's the link between all that. It's the like unmanliest thing. Think about this. I'm talking to these Zoomers and younger people. Some of you have seen some of this when I go online. I go on these VR chat rooms, and I'm trying to strike up conversations. It's just a strange medium to interact with people, but it's endlessly entertaining, I think, for some. I'm talking to these young people, and they think lashing out, they think anger, they think these type of things are manly things. They even use terms like toxic masculinity. It's like, what are you, a millennial? Young people used to look at what the older people say and be like, what are you? You're a dinosaur. Look at this old person. And they'd come up with their own stuff. You're using these stupid Frankfurt School terms. Like, what are you, toxic masculinity? Come on, like, be original. At least, like, there's no originals. The Petri dish is already collapsed in on itself. We just kind of remixing stuff. But it's like, what happened to that? It's like, what are you, a millennial? Toxic masculinity, but that's how they see it. They see lashing out, anger. They see those as masculine things. We commonly arrive to that in these conversations. But this is the most unmanliest thing, these incels. And I say that with an understanding, right? It's not out of like, look, you incel school shooter. It's like, that's no love, no understanding. It's like, they had mothers. They had the female spirit. They brainwashed and gaslighted by the evil world that hates them, that hates men, hates boys, gaslighted and endlessly brainwashed. And these women, out of control, their egos. But because the men are weak. And they don't quite understand what's going on. They don't quite understand. It's the unmanliest thing. You know what I mean? This is their female nature, full on. If they were manlier, if they were these toxic, they were just manlier, not angry, they wouldn't be the school shooters. Those are the beta males. Those are the weak, vengeful, bitter, keep it to themselves, stewing in your mind, taking things wrong when you don't need to, thinking the worst, thinking people are, they got it out for you, thinking people got it out for you. Such an ego to think like that. People got it out for you. Like you're so special, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, when you think someone's got it out for you, if you really pay attention, that person is like that with everybody. And you're taking it personally. And it's not even a big deal. 9 times out of 10 also, most people in your life, they try to show you love. And I say try is the operative word here, but that's what people are doing. Well, that's most of the time that's what people are doing. They're trying their best to show you love in the way they know how, which is broken. And this is the unmanliest thing ever. It's actually, no, you got to go away from the female into the manly. You got to get out of this paradigm here. It's equal. It's like, okay, let's get rid of that. Step one. All right, let's already jump out of this equality paradigm. There's no difference. It's all slapping chemicals and people. It's just, you know what I mean here? It's just hormones, and happiness is Oxycontin. I think that's an opiate. For some that might be happiness. But happiness is oxytocin or whatever. When a woman gets hugged by the man, and sorry, man, you're just a sub-8 male. You're a sub-8 male, and you don't make her produce enough oxytocin, and that's why she's a hypergamous slut, and why she's going to leave you. Look, dude. Yeah, like short, ugly, like smelly, like men got women fine. They got women fine. They used to get women. They still do. What I'm trying to describe here is like, that wasn't like the barrier. That was not the barrier. It's not been the barrier. Well, use name. That's what I mean about they have it out for you. Who has it? Use name. Who did I say has it out for you? But what you're saying in the chat here is I'm contradicting myself by saying they have it out for you versus they're trying to show you love. That's what I mean. That's that false love that people are trying to show you. You think it's like totally, you think it's like people take it personally is what I'm trying to say, but people are they're trying their best. Anyways, where was I? Look, check this out. This really kind of drives home what I'm trying to say here. Check out this thread on x.com, posted by this person whose Twitter name, X name goes as Autix, AUTIXCX, Autixix. And this person posted a video that's going, I guess, viral. The video is captioned, the caption of the post reads, "The next con is not ready for me," referring to a convention, short for convention, these anime conventions, you know these things? You dress up, you cosplay. They say it's cosplay. They call it cosplaying, and they cosplay, and they go to the anime conventions, and they're the animes, and they love the animes, okay? And this video is kind of going viral. This person retweeted this video I'm about to describe, and the caption with the retweet reads, "Sex-obsessed women have ruined cosplay and conventions." And the video they shared is this video. It's vulgar. It's not, there's no nudity or anything, but just, it's like vulgar. It's like a cosplaying girl, and she's doing like a sexual domination thing here with these men. She's going up to them, having some friend of hers, I guess, film her doing this. Like it's vulgar. So I mean, I don't know how else to put it. But this is what's going on here. She's like, I don't know. He's doing like a spitting in the mouth type motion thing. I don't know. And it's like, oh my God, why is your ponytail on it? Look, you see what's going on here. I don't need to tell you. And she's like getting excited doing this. Okay. And look, the point is they retweeted this video, and the account reads that says, "Sex-obsessed women have ruined cosplay and conventions." And I think about this world a little bit. Anime, convention world, and anime and stuff. And the gamer world. Think about it. Women have enjoyed a renaissance in anime and convention and nerd world, in the nerd world. It's like a renaissance for them. Think about this. They called it Gamergate. And the women came out and said, "You guys are such misogynists. There's all these women in gaming, all the video game characters. They're always so revealing. They're always so revealing. And you guys are such misogynists. You guys are evil." And they came down hard on the men. Remember this? They called it Gamergate. It was like a huge thing. They came out in the media. There was articles about this. These men, it was on display. It was the hatred of men. And the sides, people took their sides. The war kind of broke out. It really what came to a head was something that's been coming to a head for a while. Think Dublin. Think what's been going on lately. And the Gamergate, and they said you are misogynist and all this. But what's happened since then? Women have enjoyed an absolute renaissance. They call them gamer girls. If you meet one in a chat room, if you meet one in a game that you're playing, all the guys go nuts. They're like, "We got a gamer girl. Oh my God." Everybody knows that gamers, the girls in this gaming nerd world, their stock is like, oh, they're loved. They're worshipped. Usually. There is kind of differences, and they get kind of humbled. But essentially, girls in the nerd world have enjoyed an absolute renaissance there, and they're like walking all over them. They dominate the streaming platforms. You got guys who like, I've been working hard, and it's like, I'm just trying to be a streamer here. And a girl just has to look pretty and all that. I'm not saying this so that you get mad at them. It's like, why can't I just do that? It's the nature of the world. Okay, it's the nature of men and women. You can't be so immature to respond in this way. Sex-obsessed women have ruined cosplay and conventions. That's such an immature outlook on the whole thing. Don't you understand? This is like a tale as old as time. Adam and Eve, man fell because of this. Man fell from grace. Kings have fallen into this. Women are doomed to this curse to always, they would be men if it wasn't for the one thing that you can control men over. And this is what this is. I understand the disgust here, autic sex, but it's not, it's an immature response. You got to understand what's going on here. You got to understand what's going on here. Autic sex in his own post or her own post, I don't know who this is, makes another post, and here it is. It reads, "Gatekeeping needs to make an incredible comeback. I'm dressing up as my favorite character from a niche and more or less popular interest turned into I'm dressing up because I know men are pathetic and I make a living sucking something nasty on camera, and it's socially acceptable to be into anime and gaming now." That's so immature. How can you gatekeep something that you've allowed yourself to become? How can you gatekeep something that you yourself are? And it's a little bit of a judgment to say that these women are out here S-ing D on camera. I mean, they're just doing what women do, is getting attention from men who are so eager to give it, who are so eager and so happy to give it. How are you going to gatekeep something you yourself have become? Look at this reply under that very post. This person here, Fringus, writes, nerds. They create an enjoyable and close-knit community around a niche topic. Sex pests, porn addicts, and freaks. Oh, and it's like a picture to say that they show up. When these nerds are just trying to have their own thing, the nerds are the sex pests, the porn addicts, and the freaks. They are those things. And I know you think I'm coming like, oh, so hard on these anime people. Like, oh, they're not sex pests, man. And I'm not saying these people are rapists or something really bad. That's what that's why these incels are reacting. They're overreacting to the world being so evil towards them, calling them sex pests when they're just growing up in the world they grew up in. They got turned into this, in a sense, in this nasty world. You know what I'm trying to say here? They were born into this sinful world, and what I'm trying to say here is that when I say they are the sex pests, I mean it's kind of like how Jesus said, just you simply lusting in the mind. You think you're not. You think, oh, the law said, oh, it's adulterers who are sinful, but here you are lusting in the mind. Oh, these sex obsessed women are ruining cosplay, but here you are at home gooning to hentai. You know what I'm sorry, that's vulgar and disgusting, but it's the truth. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can you gatekeep something you yourself don't fully understand? And I know the world is evil, and they call you nasty things like incel, and well, you sometimes call yourselves that, and you identify with words. But I understand the world wants to say you're misogynist and evil for being sexually attracted to women. It's like here they are. They said, oh, Gamergate, but look at them. Here they are on their knees getting their ponytails pulled. I thought what happened to Gamergate? Oh, you misogynist. So here's the world doing this, and you're just in that world. I understand. They judge you for that, and that's horrible. But don't come around talking about gatekeeping and getting these sex-obsessed women when you don't quite understand what's going on here. They're not sex-obsessed women. They're obsessed with controlling men. They get life from that. And men are all too eager to join on in because they get something out of it. You know what I mean? You feel me? So amazing thread there on Twitter, x.com. They're having great conversations over there on x.com. Thank you, Elon Musk. Hello? You guys awake? Oh, guys, I got calls coming in. You guys rock. Thank you. 888-775-3773. I think that's all I got to say about the incels. The world's evil, but don't let them make you crazy and incel and mad. Don't women, the black pill is women have an evil nature, but you don't have love either. You need God for you to show them true love. And what true love looks like is never getting mad and being like a dad, like they're just kids. And not tripping about the woman's evil nature. She's only ever going to pay attention to flaws, and not always. Some women are paying attention to themselves, and that's a beautiful thing too. These Bond ladies are killing it. But look, she's going to look at your flaws, and it's your absolute duty to turn it around. Turn the Adam and Eve story around. Okay? Okay. Let me know if you want the door closed, American Anchor Baby. Oh, I'm feeling A-okay. Thank you. Maybe I pulled my shirt a couple times, but I haven't been doing that a lot, huh? Have you noticed? I'm kind of trying to keep my mind where my body is a little bit here. We got Mark. He's calling me back. Thank you, Mark. Los Angeles, California. You're on the air, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for taking my call. And I did listen to your talk yesterday after I hung up in regards to the Ireland riot.
Nice.
And if I was, understanding you, if I was getting your drift, were you basically saying that the Irishmen overreacted in their violence in response to the knifings of the children?
Essentially, that's a good way of putting it, I think. Yeah, that particular case, I think that's a good way of summarizing it. I essentially think they overreacted, and it's not so much that that's not happening, that it's not an injustice in what's going on, but the way they reacted is they've adopted the savagery of the people they say they're being attacked by.
So how do you fight fire with fire?
You don't. Fire
You
begets
do.
more fire.
No, that's right. And if it wasn't those fires, I'm not talking about Ireland now, but in world history, if it wasn't for violence and war, the white man would be genocided already. We have to have war. War cleanses. War cleans. And I'm not saying what happened in Ireland was a war, but the pretext of what happened is going to be a war. And there's no way out of it. You can't pray your way out of this. Okay?
Right. You're
They
actually
want
so
war.
right. Isn't that such a tragedy?
How could you take that you did?
But
why would you say what you did if I'm right?
Because what you're describing is a tragedy, an inevitable tragedy. White people having the Civil War, hating themselves, trying to fight off these different fronts. They're being attacked culturally in all these ways, immigrants, all this. And the tragedy of what you're saying is that it's like they're destined to this destructive path. And what I'm trying to say is, if I can be a little bit clear, is I see that you're bringing up the wars that maybe established white people. And I'm
right.
not, and it's like, I'm trying to say that the white people today aren't those people, and they're pretending to be those people, and they think that they're going to, that they have that they have today in them, what the white people before them that came and established these places, they think they have what they have. And I'm just trying to point out that if they're reacting in this savagely, just like their enemies, then they don't have what their forefathers had. And so, as you see, I'm not really trying to say that those wars that they established, I understand it's the way of the world. Like I said before, white people don't just deserve these countries. In fact, they, like you said, established them, and they paid, sometimes with blood, a lot of it. And that's why these places exist, for other reasons as well. But they've turned away from the main thing that even allowed them to create it in the first place, in my opinion, and that's God. And so, please, go ahead.
I was going to say that when the white man came to America, he wasn't soft like he is today.
Yeah.
We beat the Indians. We didn't talk them out of it. We beat them, and we used force and violence to do it. So I'm not going to be. I'm not talking about you now.
No,
but I'm not going to be beat down by a bunch of phony, liberal-minded fairies who go to church. I go to church, but a lot of the liberals who go to church, we can't have war. Oh, it's racism. We have to fight war and oppression. That's the words of a communist. When they say trash, it's because they hate the white man and they hate America. And we have to toughen ourselves up.
I'm fine.
Because if there's going to be a future, it's going to take a war to cleanse this country. Not advocating for it, but
I understand what you're saying, Mark. And honestly, there's a time to fight. And the point I'm trying to make is that the people, in my opinion, for example, let's take the people rioting in Dublin. There's a time to fight. There's even a time to fight and like the whites before them did, to establish themselves and all that. But I think we're thinking that those people rioting in Dublin are like the people who created the country, when I don't think it's as just or whatever as like that. I think it's actually a lashing out. It's not the inflection point of white people turning it around and going the other way. No, I think it's just the late stages of their destruction.
You might be right, but I still believe we can turn this around.
Me too.
That guy, the man that you showed, well, I don't want to call him a man, but that creature that you put on with the mask on, the black Irish guy, I don't know how the heck that devil got into the country.
Crazy.
But that's what we are up against.
Yes.
That's the kind of evil that calls in your show. Those type of I don't know about your show, but hey.
No, they do.
Okay, they do. So these demons are all over the place. And you heard what he said, and you know in his voice and the ultimate goal of what he was saying was the destruction of Ireland through evil.
And he dressed it up in such nice language. He dressed it up in such cute language. The international community is gonna contribute to Ireland. Whether you like it or not, the international community is gonna contribute. Wow, that's nice contributing.
I don't even know what that means.
It's crazy. It means take. That is crazy too, international community. But what about the part where I was talking about how the Irish Prime Minister agrees, basically is taking sides with that black guy on that TikTok video. What about that white lady who took sides?
Yeah.
What about all the white Irish people in the streets who took sides with that guy?
Yeah, I saw that.
So
really
you see, the thing is a little deeper.
So,
the conspiracy goes deeper.
Well, what about those Jews, those Orthodox Jews in Israel that are marching with the Palestinians?
What do you mean?
I mean, well, I
know who you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen that. Interesting stuff.
I mean, you talk about traitors. They're traitors to the Jews, and these Irish lowlifes that were, siding with the Palestinians, they're garbage. They're human trash. They've been brainwashed. No, they've been brainwashed. I don't know what's going on in Ireland, but if it's anything like the U.S., they've been indoctrinated to hate their own race. Mm. Did you know in Scotland, I may have heard this from you, they've got some guy, he's an Indian, who, I don't know if they're called prime ministers or whatever, the governor of Scotland, says, this country is too white. We need to bring in more third world people in. Now, could you imagine? Oh, yeah, I saw that. I don't know what show it was. But can you imagine an Irishman going to India, his home country, and saying here in New Delhi, well, we need more Irish people here.
He should be the laughing stock of wherever he is if he went and did that.
Do it to us now.
If he did that, he should be laughed out.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. How did that guy become prime minister, though? Or Taoiseach, as they call him. How did they become that way? How did the word citizen become so meaningless to the Irish people?
Well, there's a thing called white guilt, and it's everywhere in the world. It's a sickness. It's a self-destructive sickness, like the whites in this country who voted for Obama.
Yeah.
Those are evil people. They're evil, basically. They knew what they were doing.
But you see what I'm saying here?
Pardon me?
You see what I'm saying here? The riot, then, they should be... Why didn't they riot about that, then? Their own white neighbors who voted in this globalist white hater Taoiseach, and how did they allow the word Irish citizen means nothing? You know this Algerian guy who did the stabbings over there that they're rioting about? The reason they're not calling him an immigrant is because he's been in the country 20 years and has a passport. So apparently that's their criteria for an Irish citizen. I thought that doesn't sound like Irish citizen to me. Citizens don't go around stabbing their fellow citizens. How did the Irish people, their white brothers, and why aren't they rioting about? Why didn't they riot about their own white brothers letting the word Irish citizen become so meaningless?
In my opinion, it's because they've been infected with white self-guilt, white self-hate. One of these characters that calls into your show, I don't know if it's you or Hake, a black guy, he's always saying how much he loves white guilt. I don't know who the idiot is, but they know. They're preying on white guilt. They're depending on white guilt to destroy us. And they're listening to me right now, and they're saying, yep, that dude's got it right. But they're not going to come out and admit it.
But another thing, too, though, they're listening to you, and they might be saying he got it right, but you know what else they might be doing? Because we don't really know. They might be laughing it up, yucking it up, because they're like, because they delight and gloat in white people's birth rates going down and all this. They've called into the shows and they gloat and they say, hey, your time is coming. And you know what those people are doing when they hear you? They might hear you making sense, but they might also be laughing, saying, look, this guy is never going to take stuff back because he's angry. Look at him. He's mad, and that's why we're going to win. That's why. So keep being mad, white man. That's literally what they think. Keep being mad, white man. Keep yelling, be mad, because your time is coming. That's literally what they say. They tell you to keep being mad because they're laughing.
Well, that sounds like those black Israelites. They're real evil. I can imagine them saying that. But here's my slogan. I mean, it's one of my slogans. I copied it from Commander Rockwell. White man unite. You're being blackballed by red agitators. I think that says it all. White man unite. You're being blackballed by red agitators. And that's been the case in this country since the 20s, actually the 1920s. The Communist Party of the United States adopted a civil rights plank in 1928 at their convention. They were the first political party in the United States to adopt a communist-inspired Well, they were communists. Civil rights plank. Of course, the Democrats did it 20 years later, and now here we are 100 years later, and look what it's given us.
Super interesting. I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah, the 1928 Communist Party Convention adopted a civil rights plank. That's why the white Southerners walked out of the Democrat Convention in 1948, because they knew what this was going to lead to. They lived with this minority down south long before, the migration north started. And so they knew what a civil rights movement would have done. They were the true heroes of our day. Fascinating.
Man, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
I appreciate your call, Mark. Call me again. Super cool. If I did clear up any, I may have been not totally clear, but if I invite you, if you have the time, this program in this episode, I kind of tie it home, bring it home, kind of what I was trying to say yesterday. But man, I do appreciate the calls here. This is an important conversation, I think.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
Take care. Right on. We got. Hold up. Super chats, maybe. Matthew, thank you. Whoa. Matthew, thank you, sir. Says only winning move is not to play. Nick is pulling off the Zorro look pretty well. Thank you, Matthew, for the super chat and the very poignant point there. Poignant point. Sugar Pancake Face, thank you. The lovely Sugar Pancake Face. Stevie ain't blind. All caps. Stevie ain't blind. And Gideon only needed 300, right? Right, Sugar Pancake Face? What's up, Mana? Thank you for the super chat over there on YouTube. Says, keep the mo, Nick. Oh, you mean this? Keep the mo. Keep the MOE. Keep the modus operandi Excelsior. No, wait. Let's just forget that. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. Let me get to another caller here. We got amazing calls. 888-775-3773. Steve, New Jersey is on the air. Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Listening.
Are you awake?
I love that. That's so
Thank you. He's talking about I used to have this pastor. Those that don't know, okay, growing up, we used to go to these Hispanic hooping and hollering churches, and we had this one Hispanic pastor, little brown guy, who he must have known his congregation was falling asleep, because he'd be preaching, and hello, and we wake up and we would realize that we were not listening, actually. Thank you,
That's
Steve.
That's hilarious. So you were talking about before about the hypersexuality stuff. And then you were bringing about you're bringing up oxytocin, and if guys had more of this one molecule will separate you from the pack, type thing. But there's so when I scroll through Twitter, because I've talked about the whole Ray P thing for a while.
Yes.
In that world of biology, and I came across this a while ago, and I found this interesting because the first question I wanted to ask you was, do you think the hypersexuality that women are expressing now was greater back then, the same or less, or we've never as a human species ever had to deal with women being this hypersexual and fetishizing everything?
I don't know. Okay, I've heard different things, and I haven't gone into it, done any research or anything, but I've heard different things. I heard once that in biblical times, or I don't know, the before times, that women were actually, because it's like the meme is, and it's essentially true, that men are the dogs and they're after the women for the sex stuff. But it was that women were a little harder to control, and it was men who were denying them. Because you see what I'm saying here? That it's the meme is, women have to constantly say no to men. But it was that I heard this, so I forget where I even heard this. It might not even be true. That men were the ones who had to say no, and temper and tame this beast. I don't know. I don't think that sounds true, though. To be honest with you, that doesn't sound quite true. I feel like the nature of men and women and their relationship has been one that's been the same since the beginning of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I just think about it just because from what I've gone through, what I've experienced, and everything else. But with the hypersexuality stuff, obviously it's not normal. And so, you know, in the fallen state, you'll be like, oh, my libido's through the roof. I must be healthy. I must be this. And the more I've read into biology, that's actually not a good sign if you're that aroused, like all the time. Not only spiritually is it a bad thing, but like physically. So the one thing that I came across that I found interesting was that somebody, you know, wrote this article explaining how with the increase of all the xenoestrogens and the seed oils and all the stuff in the food, it's basically stressing out women's bodies so much that it's like they either need to sleep, die, or reproduce in order to reach like a baseline level of health. So that's why you see all these women out there going crazy. And then there you have these guys that are proposing, oh, if they take vitamin E, it'll bring them down. If they take progesterone, all this stuff. But it's like when you look at it, these guys themselves still don't even know how to handle the women, and they're just manipulating them anyway. Like that's still
going mad scientists with their bodies, yeah.
Right. That's the whole thing. It's still black magic.
Totally. Yeah. Black magic causes cancer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Black magic causes cancer, okay? Okay, no, you don't need to. You can have an abortion. You can have an abortion. You can keep your life. Oh, breast cancer because you stopped a natural process. Birth control. Okay, that's maybe a little different. But I'm following you.
Right, and it's interesting because I bring it up because everyone looks at the let's control things from like the chemicals perspective. So it's like it's no different trying to, you know, control the lust in women and men with we need to physiologically balance people to normal levels, but still at the core of it, like if your spirit is still wrought and you still suffer from that and you're still subjected to it, it's no different than if you went to a psychiatrist and you got a pill for some type of medication to quote unquote overcome a diagnosis. Like, you get what I'm saying?
I do. I'm following you somewhat. Do you know this guy? He's like this CEO tech guy. I don't know what. I think his name is Brian Johnson.
I do. Yeah. What
I
about
think
him?
you were the one who even told me about him. And I've been seeing, following his story a little bit. And this guy basically is a super health guy, measures every milligram of every substance that goes in his body, is calibrated everything. You know what I mean? That kind of persona. I will just finely tune. If there's any problem in my life, it's because I just haven't calibrated enough. I just haven't finely tuned my life enough. And I don't know. There's something really gay about that whole thing.
So 100%, because it's trying to optimize something where instead, like, if you think from the Christian perspective, you have that joy that regardless of the struggle or whatever you're going through, you take it and like you accept it, you don't complain about it. And instead of trying to always put yourself into the perfect position, it's anxiety. You're worried about how you're going to perform or some type of future thing. So you're trying to control the outcome, and be inside of doing it.
Yeah. Be like, no, totally. And I think this guy, Brian Johnson, took like the vax too. So he's like, I'm going to finally calibrate my whole life and have a perfect health and get vaccinated, which is obviously not an unsound thing to do. You do, obviously. That's what healthy people do. Sorry, Steve. Tangent there. Man, making a lot of sense, though. Anything else you want to say here before we move the wheels?
What was the last one? Oh, I wanted to quickly, because I tried to talk to Joel, but I had a work call come up when I called him before. The question that I asked him was, do you think the belief that you're free, like as it says in the Bible, and like Christians always talk about, Jesus says you're free, so if you believe that you're free, you will be free, and you'll be changed instantly, and you'll do that. Like, do you think that's a thought, and you should live by the belief, or you should live by the faith, like he was saying?
Man, you guys had that talk. I was watching the show, and that show made a lot of sense. Joel Friday TV on YouTube. Don't miss it. Check out this last episode. Well, you guys really laid it out all there. There really is no other choice. You can either keep doing that thing where you could keep trying to make it happen, trying to be free, thinking you are, thinking you're not, and when it doesn't work out, going like, I'm evil, or you can let the natural process, you can let the natural thing happen. Which is really, you see what I'm trying to say? I'm saying is like you have no choice here.
I know exactly what you're saying. So it's like the difference between abstaining from like porn. Guys are always saying, oh, I gotta do this and that. These are my triggers. This is what happens, and I fall into it. And it's like, instead of trying to abstain from it, why don't you overcome the nature and the identity that you have that's keeping you in the vice of wanting to do it? And that's where it's like the belief is the thought that, oh, I'm free, but then when the things come around and then the conflict happens and you start judging yourself, like you said, and the faith is, all right, I'm just going to go through life moment to moment and let the moment present itself, and whatever that is, it is, and then God will show you, hey, here's why you're doing it, but you're doing it because you are attached to all these other things, and that's keeping it alive. Like, is that making sense?
Totally, man. Being able to see and being free are just different things, and we're out here naming and claiming things, and when it doesn't work out, we get mad,
right.
And then we're like, no, but I'm not supposed to be mad. It's okay. You have anger.
Yeah.
But you can see, like, you know, they're different things. And
yeah, I
chill
remember for a while, I was like, I didn't have like an angry outburst. I forgave my parents, did all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I had an outburst, and then like it was the next day was church, and Jesse was like, if you have anger, you're still worshiping the devil. And I was like, no.
I'm like, this guy's talking about me. He read my mind when I walked in, and he's like, that's what I'm gonna talk about. Look at this angry person sitting in front of me. You know what? That's what we're talking about at church. Look at this angry MFer right here, Steve.
Yeah. I know.
You know what I'm saying? He's talking about me. He's talking about me.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, it's so narcissistic.
Totally. It's supposed to be personal, but
about.
don't make it personal like that. It's like, pay attention to yourself, but it's like, it's not about taking things personally. Just when you make it personal, don't take it personally.
Yeah. Jesse, NSA confirmed, listening to me through the phone. Like, how does he know?
Yeah. This guy's talking about me right now. He got his whole idea from his show from me. Yeah. Look, man, you're so right, man. Right on, man. Hey, Steve, always a pleasure, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Take care. Folks, that's the show. What can I say? American Anchor, baby. I hope you enjoyed it today. We got more coming at you tomorrow. Wednesday, Manhood Hour on the JLP show. The Hate Report, as always. Do not miss it. And more Anchor, baby, coming at you tomorrow. Let me make sure I've thanked everyone here. I see all the Rumble. Thank you. And the people, my top fan. What's up, Misty? Over on D-Live. You guys rock. Maina, thank you for that one. Pretty sure I thanked you. And to all my viewers, Nick, like the stream if you liked it. Leave a comment if you didn't. Call me tomorrow if you wanted to get in on it today, but couldn't. Folks, bye one last time. Take care. Oh, Lil Nick's still here. He's got to say bye too. Bye.